Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be recapping NFL Week 8 of the NFL season. Kind of going through, recapping all the games, do about 30 seconds to about a minute, long review of the games and kind of my opinion on kind of how the game went, if there was anything we need to cover, and then each team's season going forward. Bear with me, I have a cold, so stuffed up. I can't really breathe at the moment, but I'm going to get through this. So if you go to enjoy today's video, make sure you drop a like. And without further ado, let's get into it. First up, we got Thursday Night Football. We got the Buccaneers and the Bills. This was actually a pretty good game. The odd thing with this game is when you look at the stats down here, you would have been saying, man, this was probably a shootout. It wasn't really a shootout. It was more the Bills got ahead early. The Bucs kept it close, but then the Bucs kind of felt like they were just out of the game, and then at the last second, they decided to get a late second score, and then they had a chance towards the end of the game with a Hail Mary. That Chris Godwin, how the fuck did you not catch that? Like, seriously, it was the ball was thrown directly up in the air. It was coming down, and Chris Godwin, he was like doing a spin move, and as he was spinning around, if he would have just looked up like a half second earlier, he would have seen it. He could have at least cuffed his hands and probably caught the ball. But going forward, I think each team, they're still good teams. I've said before with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, he's looking okay with this in this offense. I think he's found a home in Tampa Bay, hopefully for his future. I think Buccaneers defense is still playing good. They're just going to be a 500 team, I think, this year. And then with the Bills, they have to get things on track. They play Cincinnati next week, I think. If they lose that game, they're going to be 5-4. And it's looking like just like an up and down season so far. Next up, we got the Eagles and the Commanders, 38-31. This was actually a pretty exciting game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the same exact score of their previous game when they played in Philadelphia. The Eagles did their thing. They ran the ball. They threw the ball. The Commanders, they came out with some high-flying offense. Usually the Commanders want to slow the game down. They want to play some good defense. In this game, they were running the ball, not that much, and they were throwing the ball a lot. Big thing to take away from this game, they stopped the tush push. And people were saying, no, they didn't. Jalen Hurts just fumbled the ball. If the quarterback throws a pick, is it the defense that stopped him, or did the quarterback just throw a pick? Because there's a lot of times where that happens, and people are like, we have the best defense, we get picks. Like, did you get a pick, or did the quarterback just throw it to you? So for all of you who are saying you didn't really stop the tush push, yes, they did. Whether Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball or not, it was stopped. I thought the overall flow of the game was really nice. It was up and down. The big thing for the Commanders, they just could not stop A.J. Brown. If they could have shut down A.J. Brown even once, and there was even a moment where I think he caught a touchdown when he was being double teamed and held up and everything, and he still got the touchdown. Moving forward, I think the Eagles, they're going to be fine. They're 7-1. They're going to go to the playoffs, get the #1 seed, probably back to the NFC title game. When we talk about Washington, trade deadline's coming up. This is recorded before the trade deadline, so I don't know what kind of moves have been made. I think they're probably going to be sellers of the trade deadline is what I've been hearing. If they're going to make the playoffs, they need to do something fast. Next up, we got the Browns Seahawks. I already have a full breakdown video of this game. I'm a Browns fan, so I did a full breakdown. If you click the link right there at the top right, where I kind of go through, break down everything from my point of view as a Browns fan. But going and looking at this game just really quickly, Browns, they had the opportunity to win. They had it in the bag. The game was right there, ready to be won. P.J. Walker just made too many mistakes. They were running the ball. They were doing everything right, but with about 3 minutes to go, P.J. Walker tried to hit, like, I think a slant or a comeback route to Amari Cooper. Ball got tipped up in the air off Jamal Adams' head. They got picked. They went right down the field, scored a touchdown with like 30 seconds to go. I said it in my previous video, but basically throughout the entire game, the Seahawks got off to an early start, and then from there, they had absolutely nothing. The Browns defense shut them down. The game was in the Browns' hands. They just let it slip away. I think going forward, the Browns are still in a good spot. They play the Cardinals coming up this week. If they can beat the Cardinals, they're back to 5-3. They're looking good. I think they can get that win. When it comes to Seattle, they have a realistic chance to possibly win this division. A lot of people coming into the season, especially myself, was saying the 49ers are going to coast to a victory of this division. Now the 49ers have lost 3 straight games. The Seahawks have a shot. Speaking of the 49ers, they lose to the Bengals 31-17. Joe Burrow went out there and did anything and everything he wanted to do. Jamar Chase did anything and everything he wanted to do. Joe Mixon did about anything and everything he wanted to do. And Brock Purdy continues to throw interceptions. I think it's funny how about a few weeks ago we were talking about, could Brock Purdy win the MVP? He could be an MVP winner after the game against the Cowboys. But then what do you know? You take away Deebo Samuel. You take away Trent Williams. I think they even took away Chris McCaffrey there at a few moments during some of these games. And look at what happened. He becomes an average guy. Don't get me wrong, Christian McCaffrey's still running the ball pretty well. George Kittle, he's still getting his touches. But I believe Deebo Samuel has still been out. Brandon Ayuk is out there. He's doing what he can. It's starting to look like people have thought that the Bengals were going to be done for when Joe Burrow had that calf injury. But here lately, he's been battling back, and he looks good. I think going forward, the Bengals, they're battling back. It's like the teams at the top, Baltimore, like you cannot sleep on Cincinnati. I know you beat Cincinnati earlier on the year, but Joe Burrow, he was still hobbling. Now he's not hobbling anymore. Now I think he's ready to go. And then with San Francisco, I just said it a minute ago, you might have to battle with Seattle for that division win. We got the Rams and the Cowboys. Nothing to really say here other than it was just an old-fashioned ass whooping. I think the Cowboys just went out there and did everything they wanted to. The Rams, they did their best. They tried to do anything. Matthew Stafford, I believe, is hurt. He has a joint sprain, I think they said, in his thumb, so he might need surgery. I don't know what's going on there. But he didn't look the best in that game. Dak Prescott did his thing, threw another interception, but I think it was a garbage time, so who cares? They came into this season saying that they wanted to run the ball. They wanted to be a physical football team. Why is Tony Pollard only getting 12 carries? I mean, he's getting 12 carries. CeeDee Lamb's getting 12 touches. This offense isn't making sense. Overall, I think the Rams, when you look at them, their offense is kind of mid. Their defense is not the same as it used to be in the past. When you look at the Cowboys, their defense is still good. It's the offense. Like I said, I'm confused. It's like when they are playing this high-flying offense that they didn't want to do, they're scoring points. But when they're playing this offense that they want to be, where they're running the ball, they're slowing it down, time of possession, they can't win shit. Looking at the two teams, LA, maybe they fight for a wild card spot. When you look at Dallas, they're going to fight for the division win, but they're probably going to just end up as a top-tier wild card team. We got the Vikings and the Packers, 24-10. Nothing really to say here. Cousins, he is going to be done for the season. I think a torn Achilles. Sad news for him. In the time that he was out there, he put up some great numbers. Jordan Love and the Packers, they didn't really run the ball at all. They didn't really throw the ball that well. I think coming into the season, everybody knew the Packers were going to be mid, but they're looking a little bit worse than mid right now. So I expect the Packers to just be mid the rest of the season. And when it comes to Minnesota, you're 4-4. Now they need a quarterback. Who are they going to go after? We got the Falcons and the Titans. I'm going to kind of run through this one pretty quickly because there's not really much to talk about other than Will Levis has a fucking ton of an arm. And DeAndre Hopkins, 3 touchdowns on 4 catches. You were pretty close to looking like a Randy Moss stat there. This was like the most mid game of the week. Falcons, they had their shot to win it. They could have. They benched Desmond Ridder, I believe, midway through the game, and put in Taylor Heineke. Heineke did his thing. Heineke does Heineke things. Derrick Henry ran the ball pretty well. From what I'm hearing is if Will Levis starts next week and he goes out there and performs, I don't think he needs to perform this great again. If he can put up like the 19-29, 200 yards, maybe a touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns, he's going to be the starter. I think going forward with both teams, Atlanta, they're still got a good shot to win their division. And when you look at Tennessee, wild card maybe. Look at the Saints and Colts game here. Saints, really good offense. They were moving this ball today. I thought the Colts did a pretty good job on offense. It was just both defenses were like MIA. Shaheed from the Saints, he was doing everything for the offense. Taysom Hill came in a couple of times, got some quarterback power draws, runs into the end zone for some touchdowns. I think overall it was just a very fun football game to watch. New Orleans, same thing with Atlanta. They have a good shot to win the division. And when you look at Indianapolis, I still think they can win that division. I'm not going to lie. I think they could be a sleepy dark horse winner. Look at the Patriots and the Saints. Patriots fans, I'm sorry for you. And I say that because you look at the team, it's like you guys are just now it's like at one point everybody would have said, we have Bill Belichick, we're fine. But now it's like, man, we got Bill Belichick. We suck. I mean, you look at the way the team is run, it just, nothing is working right. Miami just went out there and put a old-fashioned butt kicking on you when it came to their offense. Of course, Jalen Ramsey decides to come back the week they're playing with you guys and gets a pick 6. Correction, not a pick 6, but it was a pick. But I thought Miami's offense, they looked good. Their defense did what it needed to do. Do you think the Patriots offense is getting a little bit better and better every single week? Their defense is just not good. I think going forward, look at the standings. Miami is good. New England is not. This game, I'm just going to go right to the end. What the fuck was that ending? The Giants sacked Zach Wilson at 4th and like 15 with like 2 minutes something to go. I think it was actually like a minute 58. Jets have 2 timeouts. They sack him. I'm thinking game's over. Jets fans, you see them leaving the stadium. And somehow the Giants don't get a first down. The Jets end up getting the ball back with, I want to say like 40 something seconds. Correction, it was like 24 seconds right here. You can see Giants missed the field goal. If they would have made that field goal, I think the Jets would have 100% lost the game because then they would have been forced to have to chuck a Hail Mary. But without the Hail Mary, you can see right here, they had the first throw, got it an easy 29 yards. Then the next play came out, threw it for another 29 yards. And they got lucky because that very first throw here, where they went for 29 yards, they had a defensive offsides, which they were able to decline. Obviously, they're going to take the 29 yards, and it stops the clock. And then on this play here, where they end up throwing the ball down for 29 yards, got it all the way down to the 17-yard line, it was very close for them not being able to spike that ball in time. They got the ball spiked. They got the field goal. Sadly, the Giants got the ball first in overtime, but not really sadly because the Jets defense stood up. They got the ball back, and they were able to go down, get the field goal, and win the game. I don't know if this is a bad comparison, but the Jets, I feel like, are starting to win their games the way the Steelers do. They're Tomlining their way into wins. It's like these games where it's like, it's just so up and down and back and forth and defense and special teams, no offense. And then at the very end, they just find a way. It's almost like, just keep us in the game. Just keep us in the game and we'll figure something out. Side note, I didn't even realize this. Who the fuck said Tyrod Taylor could only throw the ball 7 times? And Tommy DeVito came in and only threw the ball 7 times for -1 yard. And then they ran the ball with Saquon Barkley 36 times for 128 yards. It's like, I get it. You don't want Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito fucking the game over, especially with it being a rain game. But I mean, hell, the Jets gave Zach Wilson 36 pass attempts. Going forward for each team, with the Jets, like I said, they're Tomlining their way into wins. Do they have a shot to stay livable until the end of the year? Until maybe Aaron Rodgers can come back like week 16, 17, 18? It's a long shot, but they're hoping. And then with the Giants, I think they're ready for next season already. We get the Jaguars and the Steelers. This game I was excited for because I hate the Steelers, and I'm glad the Steelers lost. When you watch this Jaguars team play, they just do everything kind of the perfect way on offense. They don't do anything flashy. They don't always get scores every single drive. But when they need to score, they can get them. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. Trevor Lawrence is really starting to develop into a top-tier quarterback, maybe top 10 already. Possibly has the chance to be a top 5 by next year. I think when you look at the Steelers, their defense is still real. Their special teams is pretty good. It's just their offense. Until they fire Matt Canada and get somebody new in there, it's gonna suck. Side note, Kenny Pickett did go down in the game. He's gonna be out, I think, next week. Correct me if I'm wrong. But like I said, until Matt Canada is out and out of a job from Pittsburgh, your offense is gonna stink. Looking at the standings, Jacksonville, they're pretty much in control of this division. I said earlier, Indianapolis might have a chance to fight back. I still believe that, but it's gonna take, like I said, dark horse, meaning it's gonna be a long shot. And then looking at Pittsburgh, somehow they're just gonna fuck around and get a division win. I don't know how. When you look at the Texans in this Panthers game, the Texans threw it. Texans lose this game solely for the reason of their offense just went to sleep in this game. I don't know what went wrong. Their offense has been pretty good the past couple weeks. This game, it just fell asleep. Both defenses showed up in this game. Panthers offense, they were just drilling away field goals, kept with the field goals, and they were able to win the game that way. At the end of the game, the Texans were doing everything they could to try to block the field goal. They actually had 2 consecutive offside penalties, which made the Panthers move up like a whole another 10 yards. Made the field goal pretty much easy to do. I do think going forward, Panthers fans, good win, congratulations, but you're going to be fighting for the number 1 overall pick. And then for the Texans, they still have a good shot to go 7-10, 8-9 this season. They're going to have a good season. We got a couple more games here. We got the Chiefs and the Broncos. Chiefs get the absolute dog shit beat out of them. And I say this because I had Mahomes on my fantasy team, and he fucked me over. He threw 2 interceptions. I think he had a fumble as well. Chiefs defense made Russell Wilson look like Patrick Mahomes. Seen people talking about the curse is real. I think the curse is real. And what curse might you be asking about? When Taylor Swift is not at the game, Travis Kelce and the Chiefs don't win. And she wasn't at the game, so they didn't win. So I think we have the code cracked. As long as she's not at the game, there's a realistic shot that the Chiefs lose. But when she's at the game, they're going to win. But in all seriousness, I think the Broncos, they played well in this game. They're 3-5 now. Are they going to be making the playoffs? Fuck no. But they're still got a good shot to go 7-10, hopefully. When it comes to the Chiefs, I think they're fine. It's just a fluke loss. They'll get over it. They'll bounce back. We got the Ravens and the Cardinals. Can somebody tell me what the hell was up with that blatant 4th down call where it was like everybody was saying the refs were cheating? But anyways, getting on to the game. Ravens offense played good. Lamar Jackson didn't really do too much in this game. People are going to be like, oh, Lamar Jackson, he did awesome. He had 1 touchdown and maybe some rushing attempts. Other than that, Gus Edwards did the work. Josh Dobbs, he does his thing every single week. He fights. He's becoming one of my favorite players this season, at least. I think going forward, we already know the Cardinals are going to be tanking this season for Caleb Williams. When it comes to the Ravens, they're still in a good spot to win the division. We get the Bears and the Chargers. The Bears just got their asses kicked. Everybody after this Taysom Bagnet beat the Raiders last week, everybody was saying, oh my God, this guy is going to be so good. He can replace Justin Fields. And then he went out there this week and looked like Nathan Peterman. He straight up stunk up the joint. I think Bears fans are even getting pissed off at him. They're like, what the hell was going on? After they saw the previous game, we're probably thinking, oh my God, this is the next Patrick Mahomes. They got delusional. They're now freaking out, saying like, what the hell's going on? They're not realizing that this guy was not meant to be in the NFL. Justin Herbert did his thing. He went off. They're 3-4. The Chargers are looking very mid, like they always are every year. Chargers, I think at the end of the season, they're going to be at their usual 8-9, 9-8. When you look at the Bears, 4-13, maybe. And then the Monday Night Football game, we got the Raiders and the Lions. This one was actually a fun, interesting game. When you look at the game, the Raiders' offense is the reason why they lost. And you might be saying, well, no shit, Sherlock, 14-26. Look at the math. But I say that in the sense of the Raiders' defense held the Lions to 3 field goals in the first half. And then they also got a pick 6. Plus, also with Jimmy Garoppolo, he also fucked over this loss. Because there were 2 throws to Devontae Adams. One, I think in the 3rd or 4th quarter, where he had Devontae Adams when they were up against their own goal line. Devontae Adams just ran a straight fade. He got behind the defender. If Garoppolo hits him, touchdown. But he doesn't hit him. He hits about like 10 yards out in front of him. He can't catch it. Then later on in the 4th quarter, I think it's like 4 minutes to go, he has Devontae Adams almost like running about 15 yards. He fakes the in, and then he goes straight down the field. And once again, Jimmy Garoppolo takes the throw. good read, but he hits him like, or throws like 15 yards in front of him. That is 2 throws that he had a touchdown. I think if the Raiders want to get any better, they got to fix their offense, or realistically just fire Josh McDaniels because he's fucking over that offense. When you look at the Lions, they're 6-2. Jared Goff played a mid-game. He played good. Jahmyr Gibbs, he was the all-star of that game. Him running the ball was elite. Him catching the ball out of the backfield was elite as well. I think the Lions are a very scary team. Yes, I know they got their asses kicked by the Ravens, but here's the thing. I think there's almost like different tiers with the great teams. Ravens are here, the Lions are here, and then there's like a lot of other people down here. I do think the Lions are still a really good team. They just need to fix some things. But other than that, that's all I got to discuss for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this game recap of Week 8 games. If you wanted to enjoy today's video, make sure you do drop a like. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Like I said, I can't breathe. It's hard to breathe right now. If you watched the entire today's video and you had a different opinion on kind of how any of these games went, you're a fan of any of these teams, and you want to leave your comment down below, feel free to do so. If you're enjoying the content that I do post here and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. And do not forget that hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Donald Talk Sports. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.